Welcome to the Better Together Here podcast with your hosts Devin
and Ashley,
helping you make the most of your time in New York City. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Better Together Here podcast. My name is Devin.
And my name is Ashley.
And in today's episode, we are going to give you 7 recommendations for vegetarian restaurants in New York City. This was a episode request. We put out a survey on our newsletter just last week, and this was one of the options that came through. And so this is an episode that we're going to do whether you are vegetarian, you're trying to eat less meat, you just want a probably healthier, more plant-based option, plant-forward option. These are going to be 7 spots that you can check out. And we're going to give you 2 bonus categories at the end that can kind of help you make a decision if you're in an area that doesn't have one of these right next to it, or you're not really sure. These are a couple kind of categories that make finding a spot as a vegetarian a lot easier, or more vegetarian options easier. So let's get right into it. All right, first one, we included this one. We've been here once. We thought it was good, not great personally, but it does have amazing reviews and the concept is very, very unique. And so we wanted to include it. And that is Beyond Sushi. And it is vegan sushi. It is located in Midtown. It's on 56th and 6th Avenue. So it's actually very close to the MoMA. So it's a good spot to go before or after the MoMA. And it's both vegan and certified kosher. And they offer a variety of different sushi rolls. And all the ingredients are 100% plant-based.
Personally, like Devin said, I thought it was good, not great. We haven't necessarily been back since the first time we went there. However, it is a very cool and unique experience if you are vegetarian or vegan and want to have sushi, because there aren't a ton of other options if you go to a typical sushi restaurant. So this was more on par with a typical sushi roll flavor profile. But for me, it didn't quite make the mark, but that's just me personally. I typically eat regular sushi.
But still a great option, especially if you are in the Midtown area. It's pretty close to Central Park. You can grab some rolls, go it. They have good to-go options. They have places to sit inside as well. So a good option to check out is Beyond Sushi. The next one on our list is The Butcher's Daughter. So The Butcher's Daughter is a 100% vegetarian menu with many vegan and gluten-free options as well. They have locations in both Los Angeles and New York. An interesting note, the founder also owns a popular bar called Apotheke, which is pharmacy in German. And the cocktails there are made in-house daily using organic produce, herbs, and botanicals. So kind of, again, along that natural kind of healthy line. So a similar kind of vibe that you can check out. That's in Chinatown. The Butcher's Daughter has a couple locations. The one that we've been to is in the West Village.
Super cute restaurant, like plants everywhere, very cute decor, and would be an awesome spot if you want like a great brunch option. They have really awesome cold pressed juice spritz drink options, which are really fun. Almost like a mimosa, but with a whole bunch of different flavors, and obviously with delicious like cold pressed juices. Get your vitamins in while also getting your drink on. Really fun spot to go to for brunch.
When we went, I had an acai bowl, which was really nice. Ashley had a salad. We tried some of those spritzes. We had delicious coffee. So a lot of really good options, especially they have good breakfast, like Ashley was saying, with plant-based meats. So a good, unique vegetarian and often vegan option as well.
I also remember specifically them having really delicious coffee options. I believe Devin got a rose and cardamom latte, which I had a sip of, and I still remember how delicious it was. So great spot to go to for brunch. They had a lot of dinner and lunch options as well, but if you wanted like a brunch option, this would be a main thing I would recommend.
So that's The Butcher's Daughter. And the kind of 2-for-1 there is Apotheke, which is a bar in Chinatown that you can check out as well, owned by the same person who runs Butcher's Daughter. And that leads us to Friend of a Farmer. Friend of a Farmer has a couple locations in the city. The one that we have gone to is on the Upper West Side. I'll just read straight from their website. It says, since 1986, Friend of a Farmer has been a pioneer in the farm-to-table movement. We've created a reputation for seasonally fresh and local ingredients with an atmosphere unlike anything else in New York City. With handcrafted wooden beams, country decor, and fireplaces, we provide our guests with a warm, familiar feeling found only in the countryside.
Friend of a Farmer has a really awesome menu that really focuses on like farm to table, like fresh food found from local farms around New York City, and more sustainable meat options as well. If you are going with someone that eats meat, just know that like they have a lot of like fresh meat options as well as lots of vegetarian options. When I went with my friend who is a vegetarian, we got only vegetarian food, and let me tell you, it was truly amazing. I loved the avocado tartare, the charred eggplant dip, and the vegan pot pie. Some of the best food I've had within the last couple months in the city was at this restaurant and had a very cozy vibe, very nice staff. Highly recommend.
So that's friend of a farmer. Like we said, they have a couple locations around the city that you can check out. And that leads us to number 4 on our list, which is Spicy Moon. To be honest, we have not been to Spicy Moon. One of our good friends, same one who Ashley went to Friend of a Farmer with.
Shout out to Casey.
Shout out to Casey. We asked her a couple recommendations, and this is one that she said comes up all the time. And similar to our first recommendation, it's kind of just a unique spot. So it is a cozy spot with eclectic decor serving plant-based Chinese dishes. One reviewer said, this place might turn me into a vegan. So again, unique in that usually if you go to a Chinese spot, they might have some vegetarian dishes, but they are serving all plant-based Chinese dishes, which makes it kind of a unique spot. And that leads us to this episode's You'll Have to Check It Out segment.
The next stop is
Bengal Tiger. So we have talked about Bengal Tiger once when we did our restaurants near the MoMA, and that's kind of part of why we wanted to talk about it again, not only to highlight it, but to highlight that they have moved. They used to be on 56th between 6th and 5th, so extremely close to the MoMA. Also very close to Beyond Sushi, which was the first recommendation on this list, but they have now moved a few blocks west, and they are still on 56th, but between Broadway and 8th, and their new location is a massive upgrade. Previously, Bengal Tiger, which offers delicious Indian dishes, they were upstairs in a kind of cramped area, and you were kind of not in the kitchen, but the kitchen and the restaurant kind of bled into each other, and it was like a little bit hot and kind of steamy and not a good way every time, but the food was so good and the staff was so friendly. Their new location is a massive upgrade. There's probably double the seating. It's a little bit more cozy. They have booths now, upgraded decor, and they now serve alcohol, only beer and wine, no cocktails, but previously they did not serve alcohol. So a massive upgrade for Bengal Tiger generally with their new location. It's still close to the MoMA and it's close to Broadway shows. So it's a great option. And let us tell you, it's arguably our favorite Indian spot in the city, specifically because the prices are extremely fair. One thing that we love is they have good prefix menus. So they have an option even for dinner that comes with an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert at a fair price.
$24.
Yeah, I think $24. I think their lunch special is slightly smaller portions, and it's $17 when they offer it. Their butternut squash soup is phenomenal. Some of the best butternut squash soup that I've had. And every single dish that we've had there really has been amazing. They have generous portions. Going along the theme of this episode, they do have a good amount of vegetarian options. We've had their chana masala, which is a chickpea-based dish. Amazing. Honestly, for the price point, have not had better Indian food at the price that you get it. And the staff is extremely friendly. They all really seem to just like care, and they genuinely want you to be there. And I don't know, there's some restaurants where you go to where it's like, it seems like the people are peeved that you're there, which is hilarious and ironic, but a whole different conversation. I also don't expect restaurants to be like waiting on you hand and foot. And Bengal Tiger really kind of strikes that balance of being attentive, keeping your water full, food comes out quickly, all the things that you want, while not being like overly pretentious or anything of that nature.
We actually went to Bengal Tiger last night with some family that we had in town, including 3 children, and the staff was incredible, super helpful. The food was amazing and came out quickly because we had some hungry kids and hungry adults. And as we were leaving, I'm pretty sure every single staff member thanked us for coming and said, like, have a nice day, which really is rare, I think, in New York City.
Yeah, and it makes a difference. Service aside, again, the food is amazing. Every dish that we've had lamb vindaloo, we've had their chicken tikka masala, we've had some of their samosas, we've had their mango chutney, we've had all kinds of dishes. Every single one has been good.
I will add, one of my favorite things to get there that you should not skip is the coconut naan. I had never had coconut naan before. I don't know if that's something that is on a lot of other Indian menus. I don't remember seeing it in the past, but it's phenomenal. Highly recommend trying it.
So that's this episode's You'll Have to Check It Out segment, is Bengal Tiger in Midtown. And now back to our vegetarian restaurants.
stand clear of the closing doors, please.
All right, fifth on the list is a very, very famous spot called Mamoun's Falafel. So Mamoun's Falafel originally opened in Greenwich Village in 1971. According to their website, which we are learning often these things are not true, but according to them, it is the oldest falafel restaurant in New York. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. Someone correct me. Send us an email if we're wrong. But also says one of the first Middle Eastern establishments in the United States. Again, I don't necessarily believe that. That could be
Why do you not believe that?
Because 1971, you don't think there's a Middle Eastern restaurant that was opened before 1971? Like, that just seems...
Well, is it claiming to be the oldest Middle Eastern restaurant or the oldest falafel restaurant? Because maybe they specialized in the falafel.
Yeah, the falafel restaurant, oldest falafel restaurant in New York, more believable. But one of the first Middle Eastern establishments in the United States, that seems wholly unbelievable to me, personally. 1971, this country's been around for hundreds of years. You don't think that there was a Middle Eastern restaurant in, like, Boston?
That's
even?
True.
I don't know.
That's true. I agree with you. I think it's probably more that it's the oldest falafel restaurant in New York, but the oldest Middle Eastern. But I don't know. Mamoun, if you're listening to this, slide into our DMs.
Yeah, it's someone who knows. Tell us if we're wrong. Either way, very, very high quality falafel. And it's truly a hole in the wall spot. So a lot of the restaurants and bars in Greenwich Village, especially in this particular part of the village, are very, very small. Like, you're talking maybe 10 to 12 feet wide. And the actual, I mean, for Mamoun's, like, the actual area that you can go into as a customer is, 10 or 12 feet wide and maybe 10 or 12 feet long. Like, there's a space for a couple people to eat in that exact area, a counter to order, and then they do have seating outside depending on the season. But man, some of the best falafel that I've ever had personally.
Very unique, like, falafel, like, wrap options as well. And I will add that this is a more, like, fast casual spot. So if you wanted, like, a quick bite, this would be a good spot to go to. This is not like a sit down restaurant where you're going to have a waiter and they're going to be filling up your water. This is like, you get a water bottle and a delicious falafel wrap and you kind of get out. But
the service was also very friendly. They were courteous and, like, had, asked if we had questions, gave us recommendations. Mamoun's Falafel actually has, I think, close to like a dozen locations throughout the country now, but they started in Greenwich Village. They ship on Goldbelly. If you're not familiar with Goldbelly, it is a service where you can order food from restaurants around the United States, and they are on Goldbelly. But I recommend come and see them in person in Greenwich Village. So that's Mamoun's Falafel. And that moves us on to number 6 on our menu, which is Empanada Mama. Empanada Mama, I've been a couple times. It's amazing. It might sound bizarre to think of a restaurant that is just empanada focused. I think they have a couple other, like, basic dishes, but I think they have over 30 empanada options, which, again, that's not something you're going to get in a whole lot of places, but they're all phenomenal, and they have many, many vegetarian options at Empanada Mama. Empanada Mama also has multiple locations throughout the city. We go to the one in Hell's Kitchen. Again, food comes out pretty quickly because it's empanadas. It's not something that takes too long. They have a variety of options. Like, they have more sweet ones and they have more savory and they have dessert style ones. So Empanada Mama, a great place to go for vegetarian options. And that leads us to our last, arguably our favorite on this list, which is Westville. So Westville has multiple locations in New York City, including the Upper West Side, Hell's Kitchen, Williamsburg, Dumbo, and plenty more. We actually first found out about Westville at the beginning of my marketing career. I had an internship that turned into a job at a marketing agency that was focused on SEO, mostly search engine optimization, and we did marketing work, SEO work for Westville. We were a marketing agency on the West Coast, but we happened to get connected with Westville. And then one of the first times we came out to visit, we said, all right, we got to go check this place out. I was working on their website and updating their website and doing marketing for them and reading all the things and thinking, wow, this sounds really delicious. And I think at the time when I was doing that, it would have been like 2016 or so, 2017, and I think they only had 2 locations, maybe 3 at the time, possibly 4, and I think they've expanded as high as like 10. I think they've come back down to maybe 7 or 8 locations, but when you are able to sustain that many locations for a restaurant in New York City, you are doing something right. And Westville certainly is doing a lot right.
Westville is an awesome go-to spot if you want healthier, really delicious food. They have tons of vegetable options, which makes them very unique. One of our favorite things to get is the market plate, and they have, I feel like, a couple dozen different vegetable sides that you can get, and with the market plate, you pick 4 of those, and that's kind of your meal, is 4 deliciously prepared veggies. We love the yuca fries. We love their roasted beets with goat cheese.
The Brussels sprouts are nice. They have Brussels sprouts with mustard. Pretty good. They also have non-vegetarian options if you are wanting to get something with meat. They have salmon and they have chicken, but most of their dishes, like Ashley said, are very plant-forward, and they have some rotating dishes that are seasonal. They also have great drinks and cocktail. They have a good beer list. They have good cocktails. Had a delicious hot toddy there before. Really a nice kind of cozy spot. I will say it does feel like in the past couple of years it's gotten a little bit more corporate in a way and a little bit less homey feeling and cozy, but still great food at a pretty fair price, especially when you're getting something that is mostly sourced from local spots, local farms. And you know what? It's a good spot. It's a good spot, like Ash said, to get some tasty food. So those are our 7 main vegetarian restaurant options in New York City. Most of these are in Manhattan, options in Brooklyn, other places as well. But we want to give 2 kind of bonus vegetarian options in New York City, because you might not be near one of these places, or maybe one of these places doesn't sound great, or maybe you are going on a trip with a friend who is vegetarian and you're not super versed in the world of finding vegetarian food. A couple good options that can kind of broaden your horizons being beyond just individual vegetarian restaurants. Number 1 is going to be most ramen spots. Most ramen spots are going to have vegetarian options. Apudo is well known for their vegetarian ramen. Our go-to ramen spot in Midtown, close to the MoMA, close to Central Park, is Kin Ramen. It has delicious ramen and arguably New York City's best bathroom decor. Yes, I'm talking about bathroom decor on a food-focused podcast episode because Kin Ramen's bathroom is amazing. I'll talk about it every time we talk about Kin Ramen because you just have to see it. And the food's delicious, and the vibe is awesome. So ramen spots are a great option. A couple other ramen spots we've liked in the city. Karakata, which is down more in like the Village area. Apudo. Any others that we've liked?
I like Wagamama.
Wagamama's good.
They have some really good vegetarian ramen options as well.
Yeah. So ramen is a great option if you're looking for some vegetarian spots. Another category, the second kind of bonus category, is most fast casual or salad spots. So we have done an whole entire episode about 20 of our favorite New York City fast casual spots, but any place like Dig or Sweet Green or Just Salad, I mean, they are salad places. They are going to have lots of vegetarian and often vegan friendly options and gluten-free options. So if you're really in a pinch, especially for lunch, like there are so many of them throughout the city, you can pop in and grab a nice vegetarian option. And similar to Mamoun's Falafel, most Mediterranean places are going to have plenty of vegetarian dishes as well.
So those are our recommendations for you guys for vegetarian-based restaurants in New York City for when you come and visit, or if you live here, definitely check some of those out. You will not be disappointed. And just on a personal note, I think it's good to try to eat a little bit less meat. So even if you aren't a vegetarian, try a vegetarian spot. Broaden your horizons, try new things. Maybe you'll be surprised that you like it. And maybe we can all eat just a little bit less meat.
And want to reiterate that this episode was a request via a survey that we did on our newsletter. So if you are not a part of that, make sure to go to bettertogetherhere.com/newsletter. You can sign up. We email only once a week, and every email is valuable information about new episodes, new articles that we write, new events, or things you need to check out. We also welcome all of your feedback and emails and questions. And if you need help planning a trip to New York City, send us an email, hello@bettertogetherhere.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms. Follow us on the podcast platforms. If you want to help out this podcast, the most helpful thing that you can do is leave a review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to our newsletter. And other than that, we'll catch you on the next episode.